means whatever x value we will be getting from the quadratic equation, those x value will be different, and real means real number we will be getting. Okay, that was the first case. Second case was when we will be getting b square minus 4ac is equals to 0. Roots are same, real and same. Real means real number we will be getting. And the third scenario was b square minus 4ac is smaller than 0, then roots are not real. Now we are going to focus on this case. When the roots are not real, then it is what? Okay, when it's not a real number, then it is what? So it is imaginary number. There comes the concept of imaginary number. In previous class, we have learned only this much, that roots are not real. And after that, nothing, no explanation, nothing you have seen from this portion. Now you will get to know that if roots are not real number, then roots will be imaginary number. So let's see few quadratic. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see few quadratic equation where roots are not real. If x square plus 36 is equals to 0, find x value again. Is it 6? Let's try doing it together. X square is equals to this 36 will go to other side. Minus 36. X will be plus minus under root minus 36. Right? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we cannot say it's 6. Inside the square root in the first chapter you have learned, if inside the square root negative comes, negative number inside the root sign is not acceptable. Okay, here the roots are not good. If you want to check it. B square minus 4ac. Discriminant, if you want to check just the nature of the root by using the discriminant concept. This is quadratic equation which is in the form of ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. If I will ask you what is a, what is b, what is c, can you tell me what is a, what is b, what is c? A is
1,
B is
1, no, 0,
0. C is 36.
36.
If you will just try checking the nature of the b square minus 4ac, check it. 0 square minus 4 into a into c. This negative number, of course, it is smaller than 0. And when it is smaller than 0, roots are not real. Yes or no? Here comes the concept of imaginary number. And mathematicians say that whenever we will be getting inside the root negative sign, we will say this is nothing but I. I is iota. Iota sign we are using over here. We are trying to represent its imaginary. We are trying to say that it's imaginary number. Okay, just a second. Yeah. So we will say that if from now onward, whenever we will be getting inside the root sign negative value, we will be calling it I. Okay, it's imaginary part. Okay, we will represent this imaginary part with this I, small I, which is called iota sign. Okay, so what about this under root minus 36? What about under root, if you will be solving the next question, no, that is 3x square plus 48 is equals to 0. Check it. You will be getting 3x square is equals to minus 48. You will be getting x square is equals to minus 48 over 3. You will be getting x square is equals to 3 1 times 3, 3 6 times 18, minus 16. You will be getting x is equals to plus minus under root minus 16. Now mathematicians said about this under root minus 1. What about this under root minus 36? What about this under root minus 16? How to deal with such scenario? So whenever you are having such numbers, you have to simply think like this, that 16 is there and along with that minus 1 is there. Okay. Now 16, if it can come out, it will be 4. And inside the root minus 1 will be remaining. That will be just I. So basically our x value will be plus minus 4i. Are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now if we will be having under root minus 36, then what to do over here? We will be taking the help of the same and we will be solving it like that. We will think it like under root 36 is there, but along with that minus 1 is there. This 36, 1 6 will come out and this under root minus 1 will remain as it is. And of course, plus minus sign, you are in class 11. Okay, plus minus sign we will not forget. So plus minus 6i will be the answer. Plus minus 6i, these are the values of this. This is the solution of our quadratic equation. Okay, so always it will not be possible to find the solution in terms of real number. Sometime we won't be after solving, we won't be able to get a real number as a solution. So that time we will be getting imaginary number. Okay, now your question must be that, okay, if a perfect square number is there, then you are getting it. What about if a number is not perfect square? What about under root 20 minus 24 is there? If this type of scenario you are getting, then how to write it in terms of I? Let me show you. You will be you have to take it like root 24 is there and along with that root minus 1 is also there. So 24 will not come out from the root sign. It's not a perfect square number. Okay. We will keep it like this, or if you want to write the simplified form after doing the prime factorization, you can do, but completely it's not a perfect square number. This minus 1 will be I. Are you getting it, Ali and Alina?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is how we are getting the solution of the same quadratic equation which we have learned in the previous class. Okay. Let's solve few more quadratic equation. X minus 5 whole square plus 4 is equals to 0. Let's try doing it together. Okay. X value we have to find. That's called solution. Maybe while finding the solution of this quadratic equation, we will be getting a real number. Or if we will not be getting real number, then we understand that imaginary number we can get. Okay. So x minus 5 whole square, 4 we can shift to another side. There are so many ways to solve it. Okay. We are just using one of the way and we are trying to solve it. You can apply the formula a minus b whole square. However, I am showing you other way. You can shift this 4 to other side. It will be minus 4 over here. Okay. X minus 5 whole square is minus 4. X minus 5 will be, can we say it will be plus minus under root minus 4? Can we? Can we?
Yes, ma'am.
It will be x minus 5 is equals to plus minus 4 will be 2 and I will be there. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now x value we want to find over here. That will be 5 will go to other side. It will be 5 plus minus 2i. And this is the x value we have got. One of the x value is 5 plus 2i. Another x value is 5 minus 2i. Are you getting it, Ali and Alina? Now your question must be, why we have not solved it that way? What will happen if we will solve it that way? So let's do it that way. A square minus 2ab, 2 into a into b, plus b square plus 4 is equals to 0. X square minus 10x plus 25 plus 4 is equals to 0. X square minus 10x plus 29 is equals to 0. Now, of course, splitting the middle term will not be possible because already we know the solution. Okay? So, quadratic formula is the savior. We will be using the quadratic formula to take out the value of x. Let's try using the quadratic formula. X equals to minus b, minus of minus 10, plus minus b square minus 4ac, b square minus 4 into a into c by 2a. Let's continue. Just a second. Yeah, let's continue. 29 was there. We will be getting 10 plus minus under root. Please solve it, Aliana Lena, and let me know what are you getting from here. 10 square minus 4 into 1 into 29.
Minus 16.
Let's check it. We will be getting minus 16 over here. Yes, Ali, are you getting the same? Minus 16, can we write it as a 4i? Can we write it as a 4i, Alina?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything common which can be taken from the numerators part?
Ma'am,
Two.
Yes?
ma'am, I do not understand how 16 can.
Okay, let's check it. 10 square is
100.
100 and 4 in multiplication of all. Okay, so 4 into 1 into 29. 4 into 1 into 29. 29 4 times, 9 4 times 36, 6 carry 3. 4 2 times 8, 9 10 11, 116. Can you see it, Ali?
Yes, ma'am.
100 minus 116 is, it's minus 16, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we write it?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is minus 16, which can be written as 4i, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I was asking, is there anything which we can take out common from the numerators part? Can we take 2 common from the numerators part?
Yes, ma'am.
So 5 plus minus 2i will be remaining, and in the denominator 2 is there, 2 gone. Now can you see our previous answer and this answer is same? कैसे भी सॉल्व करेंगे, x का वैल्यू तो यही आना है इमेजिनरी नंबर्स के टर्म पे. गेटिंग इट, Alian Alina?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so previously, now you must be thinking in class 10 we used to solve quadratic equation and we have never ever encountered such situation, because purposefully you have seen such a question only. Such a question was given in your book which can be solved and where the real number will be the solution. Purposefully you have got such questions, okay, because this type of scenario was beyond your scope at that particular time. That's why only you have solved such a quadratic equation where the solution was real number. Now you can understand that solution sometimes cannot be real number. However, this formula you both have learned, the discriminant greater than 0 is smaller than 0. Have you learned that earlier, Alina?
Yes,
B square minus 4ac greater than 0 is smaller than 0 equals to 0. Have you learned that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there you have got the idea that sometime root cannot be real number, that you already know. Okay, now just a second. Yeah, now we understood. Now we understood that under root minus 1 is I. Okay, we will represent it with imaginary number iota sign. Okay, now from here only, we are going to see that I square will be, the value of I square will be minus 1. Okay, and can you see I square will be minus 1? Yes or no? If you will do squaring both side, are you going to get minus 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so from here we know one more result, and every now and then we will be using this result, that I square value is minus 1. Okay, similarly if we have to find IQ, we can use this one we will always use, not the first one. More often we will not be using the first one. First one we will use when we have to find this type of solutions and all, but I square we will be using more often. I square is minus 1. Memorize it. Okay, now I cube, when you have to find, you can say I cube is nothing but I square into I. Can we say? Can we say? And I square is minus 1. I is just I. And I cube is same as minus I. From now onward, I cube, I to the power 4, I to the power 5. या तो I स्क्वायर के टर्म में लिखने की कोशिश करेंगे, या फिर जस्ट आई. ठीक है, अभी अगर समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, इट्स टोटली ओके. we will be doing a lot of like I to the power 4 we'll be finding, then 5, then 6, then 7, and then we will start solving the questions. So I to the power 4, कैन वी राइट इट एज अ हमेशा जो भी पावर हो, एक्सपोनेंट जो भी हो, आई का एक्सपोनेंट जो भी हो, we will try writing it in terms of I square first. Okay, so can we say I to the power 4 is nothing but I squares whole square? Can we? Earlier,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I square value we already know, this is -1 whole square. So I to the power 4 value is just 1. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, let's find I to the power 5. Always we will try breaking in terms of I square because that value we know. And apart from that, if we have to do anything else, we will try keeping it in terms of I. Okay, I. My under root -1 we will not write. Whenever this exponent thing we are solving, under root -1 we will not write. Either you will try breaking it in terms of I square, or if nothing is possible, odd power is there, then I. Okay. So can we write this I to the power 5 as a, it is I squares whole square into I. Can we write it like this? Can we?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I square whole square now only we have seen. It is just 1 and I will remain as it is. So I to the power 5 किसके इक्वल है? I के इक्वल है. ठीक है, अगर ये प्रोसेस समझ में आ रहा है तो हम लोग क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करेंगे. Let's try solving few questions. I to the power 7 plus I to the power 8 plus I to the power 9. Okay, we have to solve it and we have to check what is the final answer. Let's try doing it. अभी अभी मैंने बोला we will always at first try keeping it in terms of I square. So जितना भी possible हो, I to the power 7, can we write it as a I squares whole cube? Maximum, this is what is possible. And then one extra I. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
I to the power 8, can we write it as a I squares to the power what? Ali and Alina.
4.
Yes, 4. I to the power 9 can be written as I square to the power what?
4.
And then one extra I. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's try solving it. I square का मतलब तो 1 -1 होता है. I square means -1. I square means -1. ध्यान से देखो, -1 whole cube will be -1 cube will be. Is it negative or positive?
-1.
Negative.
-1.
Can we say it is -I over
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
plus -1 to the power 4 is just 1.
Positive.
Okay. -1 to the power 4 is just 1. And I multiplied with that is just I. Can you see something is getting cancelled out?
I.
Yes, ma'am.
And the answer is 1. ऐसे करना है सोल्यूशन हमें हमेशा. सबसे पहले आई स्क्वायर के पावर में लिखने की कोशिश करेंगे, इवन इफ ह्यूज पावर हो. आई टू द पावर सडनली किसी ने आके बोला 37 कैलकुलेट करो, तो हम लोग ऐसे लिखेंगे आई स्क्वायर टू द पावर वॉट एवर मैक्सिमम इज पॉसिबल. 37 को 2 से डिवाइड करके देखो क्या नंबर आ रहा है. 2 1 times 2, 8 times 16. दैट मीन्स ये जो क्वोशिएंट है 18 यहाँ लिख सकते हैं, हाँ या ना? 18 2 times 36. हाँ या ना अलियन अलीना? 18 into 2 36. Let me wipe it first. 18 can be written over here or not? 18 into 2 is 36 and 1 extra I. Can we write it like this?
Yes, ma'am.
I square value we already know, minus 1 to the power 18. 18 is even number. Okay, even number means minus 1 to the power even number means the result will be just positive 1. Okay, and I multiplied with that. I is the final answer. Getting it, Ali and Alina? आ रहा है समझ में?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's. Ali, are you getting Ali?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's try finding few more values. I to the power 7. I to the power 8. Just now we did this. Okay. I to the power 9 over. I'll be taking this question after a while when I will introduce the next concept. Just a moment. Let's try finding I to the power 9 plus I to the power 19. Do it, Ali and Alina.
Ma'am, is this 0?
Is it 0, Ali?
Ma'am, I'm doing it.
Yes, it will be I to the power minus 39. Please try finding the value, Ali and Alina.
Negative I.
Negative I. Okay, let's check it, both of them. Quick, quick, quick. I to the power 9 can be written as I squares to the power 4 into I. 19 can be written as I square to the power maximum whatever we can take. 9 into I. I square is negative 1 to the power 4 will be plus just I minus I. Result is 0. Perfect. Next, I to the power minus 39 can be written as law of exponent. Use it. It can be written as I to the power just 39, which we can solve it further. We can solve it and we will be getting what? I to the power I square to the power 19 2 times 38 into I. 19 is odd number. Minus 1 to the power odd number is minus. So basically minus I we are getting in the denominators. Okay, however, we will not leave this I in the denominators part. Rationalization concept you have learned. So here we will apply the rationalization concept and we will multiply I with the numerator and the denominator. Why? Because so that this I will get a pair and will become I square. Okay, we don't want to keep I in the denominators part. And for that, rationalization concept will help us. Recall it, Ali and Alina, when you used to have 1 by root 2, you used to rationalize it by multiplying root 2 in the numerator, root 2 in the denominator. Denominator used to become just 2 and numerator is this. Rationalization you have learned, right? If it used to be like this, 3 plus root 5, then you used to multiply with 3 minus root 5. 3 minus root 5. Are you able to recall these concepts, Ali and Alina?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? Here also we are using the same concept, rationalization. Okay, I we are multiplying in the denominator, I in the numerator, so that the denominator will be I square and numerator will be just I. So I is okay in the numerators part, but we will not leave it in the denominators part. And to remove that, whatever we can do, we will do it. So minus I square will be minus of minus 1, which is just plus 1. So I is the final answer. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it crystal clear, Ali and Alina?
Yes.
Now the question which I wanted to give you initially. Please evaluate. Or just a moment, no? We are coming to this one. We will be doing it together. Let me introduce one more concept. We will be coming to these two questions. Just a moment. Any number which is in the form of a plus bi, it's called complex number. Any number which is in this form, a plus bi, is called complex number. For example, if you are having 2 plus 3i, it's a complex number. You can see imaginary part is there. Okay, here this a is called real part. A will always be real number, and b, which is just attached along with I, this is called imaginary part. B will also be a number only, but why we are calling it imaginary part? Because it is multiplied with I. Okay, that's why we are going to call this B as a imaginary part. So whenever जब भी मैं पूछूं कि imaginary part कौन सा है, तो B को imaginary part बोलना, BI को नहीं. In this question, in this example, just a second, the example which I have given below, 2 plus 3i, यहाँ पे अगर क्वेश्चन ये हो कि रियल पार्ट क्या है, तो रियल पार्ट 2 है, एंड इमेजिनरी पार्ट क्या है, तो इमेजिनरी पार्ट 3 है, जस्ट 3. गेटिंग इट? जो भी i के साथ मल्टीप्लाइड होगा उसे इमेजिनरी पार्ट बोलते हैं, एंड जो भी a के प्लेस पे होगा दैट्स कॉल्ड रियल पार्ट. It can be positive, it can be negative, doesn't matter. If your example looks like this, 1 by 3 minus 5 by 2i, so your real part is 1 by 3, your imaginary part is minus 5 by 2. Are you getting it, Ali and Alina?
Yes.
Okay, तो कोई भी
Yes, ma'am.
नंबर जो a plus bi के फॉर्म में दिखता है उसे हम लोग कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर बोलते हैं. अब क्वेश्चन विल बी लाइक 5i, ये क्या
Ma'am,
कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर? यस अलीना.
ma'am, I was writing.
ओके, यू वाज राइट.
I'm
Now the question is, just you are having 5i. Is it a complex number? If it is a complex number, what is the real part? What is the imaginary part? तो ध्यान से देखो, ये भी कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर है. 0 प्लस 5i ऐसे लिख सकते हैं हम लोग. यहाँ रियल पार्ट 0 है, इमेजिनरी पार्ट प्लस 5 है. आर यू गेटिंग इट?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, if just 3 रहे, and the question is it a complex number? If so, what is the real part? What is the imaginary part? So we can say here real part is 3 and imaginary part is 0. Yeah, we can represent it in form of complex number. Getting it?
Yes,
If you understood, then now you have to do this question. I to the power 7 plus I to the power 8 plus I to the power 9 by 1 minus I. You have to solve it first. If rationalization needed, do it. And then we will be saying what is the imaginary part. Let's do it together. Let's do it. I to the power 7 can be written as I square to the power. Yes, Ali and Alina. I square to the power what?
Hmm.
into I to the power 8 can be written as I square to the power 4. I to the power 9 can be written as I square to the power 4 into I. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
1 minus I, we cannot do anything. Okay. I square is minus 1 to the power 3, it will be minus I. I square to the power 4, it will be just plus 1. I square to the power 4, it will be just plus I over 1 minus I gone. We are having 1 by 1 minus I. Now only I was telling you that whenever needed, we will be doing the rationalization. Okay, A minus B type of structure. Can you see over here?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's multiply with A plus B in numerator and denominator. So we will be having 1 plus I by 1 minus I square, right? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 1 plus I is fine in the numerator. This denominator's I square will be minus 1. So in denominator it will be 1 minus minus 1. Okay, we are having 1 plus I by 2. Any confusion so far?
No, ma'am.
Now can you tell me what is the real part, what is the imaginary part?
1 by 2 is real part and I is imaginary part.
We will be writing it in form of A plus IB. And then we will say A is real part and B is imaginary part. Let's write it in form of A plus IB. Can we write it as a 1 by 2 plus I by 2? Can we?
Yes, ma'am.
We can, right? So this is A and B is still it's not that clear, but we can represent B like this. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Real part is 1 by 2. Imaginary part is just 1 by 2. We will not say while saying imaginary part, it will like whoever will ask what is the imaginary part, they will understand that of course I is multiplied with that. So we don't have to mention that I is multiplied. We will say real part is 1 by 2 and imaginary part is also 1 by 2. Getting it, Ali and Alina?
Yes, ma'am.
If this much is clear, then you will be able to do this question. I to the power 15, I to the power 16, to I to the power 17. By 1 plus I, find the real part. Are you able to do it, Ali and Alina? Let's do it together. I to the power 15 can be written as I square to the power 7 into I. I to the power 16 can be written as I square to the power 8 minus 2I to the power 17 can be written as I square to the power 8 into I. By 1 plus I is still there. Now here directly we can think about it, or you can increase one more step. I square is minus 1 to the power 7. It will be negative, right? Negative I. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
I square is minus 1 to the power 8 is just 1. Here minus 2 is there. I square to the power 8. It will be positive, and along with that one I is there. So we will say that minus 2I we are having over 1 plus I is there. Any confusion so far? Yes, Ali and Alina, any confusion so far?
No, ma'am.
Now see carefully, minus 2I minus I, these two are like terms. We can write it minus 3I plus 1 over 1 plus I. Now rationalization I told you to do, okay? Let's do it. 1 plus I is there, 1 minus I we will multiply in numerator and denominator. Denominator is sorted. It became just 1 minus I square. Numerator is the main thing, how we will deal with this type of scenario. No worries, we will be using the distributive property over here. Okay, so minus 3I will get multiplied with 1. It is minus 3I only. Minus 3I will get multiplied with minus I. So plus 3I square. Are you getting it, Ali and Alina? 1 will get
Yes, ma'am.
multiplied with 1. It will be just 1. 1 will get multiplied with minus I. It will be minus I. So in denominator 1 minus I square, it will be 1 plus 1 just. In numerator, minus 3i minus I minus 4i minus plus 3i square is there. I square value we know it is minus 1. So minus 3 plus 1 minus 2. Any confusion so far?
No, ma'am.
Now in denominator just 2 we are having. In numerator we are having minus 4i minus 2. You can see 2 we can take out common from the numerators part. Okay. If we will take it out 2 common and we'll cancel it with the denominators too, we will be left with, just a second. Yeah, we will be left with minus 2i minus 1. We know that complex number we are having over here, which can be written in the form of a plus ib, where a is minus 1 and ib is this. This is how we will write it. Now, what is the real part? Minus a is the real, minus 1 is the real part. What is the imaginary part? Ali and Alina?
-2.
Minus 2. Is it crystal clear कि यहाँ पे calculations कैसे करना है?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's continue. Write down the real and imaginary parts of the given complex numbers. Quick, 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 tell me. Number A, real and imaginary part. Yes, Ali and Alina.
Ma'am, can you minimize it a little? I didn't see the question.
A, what is the real part? What is the imaginary part?
Ma'am, real part is 7 and 0 is the imaginary part.
Of course. 0 is imaginary part. Next one. What is the real part? What is the imaginary part?
0 is the real part and -1 is the imaginary part.
Minus 1 is the imaginary part. Next one. What is the real part? What is the imaginary part?
0 is the real part and 1/2 is the imaginary part.
Perfect. Next one. What is the real part? What is the imaginary part?
3 is real part and 1 is imaginary part.
Perfect. What is the real? What is the imaginary part?
-5 is real and 8 is imaginary.
Next one. What is the real part? What is the imaginary part?
Minus root 2 is real and minus root 6 is imaginary.
Perfect. Now find these values quick, quick, quick. Okay, I'm summarizing everything, whatever you have learned so far. Yes, Ali. Please do it now.
Equal to 1.
Yeah. I to the power minus 16 we are having.
Ma'am, b is minus I.
Yeah, what?
b
B is
is
minus I. Okay. We will check it. I to the power 16. That is 1 by I square to the power 8. That means just 1. Right? Right?
yes,
That means even if the power is even, eventually we understand we'll be getting 1. Right?
yes,
If the power is odd, then we will be getting minus I. Maybe. We have to check it. Let's check it. I to the power minus 19 can be written as 1 by I to the power 19, which can be written as 1 by I square to the power I square to the power what? 9 2 times 18 into I. Yes or no?
yes,
That means we are getting minus I in the denominator. And I told you don't leave I in the denominator because complex number looks like A plus IB. I is sitting over there in the numerator's part, not in the denominator. Okay, so we will multiply I in the numerator in the denominator. We will be getting I in the numerator's part minus I square in the denominator's part. I square is nothing but just minus 1. So minus of minus 1 will be getting in the denominator. Numerator will be just I. So our answer is just I. Getting it, Ali and Alina.
yes, ma'am.
Do the last one, number D.
Ma'am, just I.
Just I. Just a moment. Now the next question is if K and 10 by 3 plus I minus Ki are real number, find K. Okay? Here we have to find the value of K. If this is just a real number, it's not a complex number. It looks like complex number, but the question says no, it's not complex, it's just a real number. Okay? सो रियल नंबर का मतलब तो ये होता है कि इमेजिनरी पार्ट ही जीरो है, हाँ या ना? रियल नंबर तो तभी हो सकता है ना जब इमेजिनरी पार्ट जीरो हो, हाँ या ना? किसी भी
Yes, ma'am.
कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर को रियल नंबर कब बोलेंगे? कोई भी एक हमारे पास कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर है ए प्लस आई बी के फॉर्मेट में और ए प्लस बी आई के फॉर्मेट में, इसे रियल नंबर कब बोलेंगे ए प्लस बी आई कंप्लीटली को? जब ये बी पार्ट, ये बी वैल्यू जीरो होगा, तभी तो ये रियल नंबर होगा, हाँ या ना? जब भी हमारे पास कुछ ऐसा था, एग्जाम्पल हमने इसे कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर, we have represented it in form of complex number, but actually this 2 is a real number, we understand, yes or no? And once we have represented it in the form of complex number, imaginary part तो यहाँ पे जीरो था, हाँ या ना?
हाँ मैम।
आ रहा है समझ में? तो कोई भी कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर रियल नंबर कैस कब बनेगा? जब उसका इमेजिनरी पार्ट ही जीरो होगा, ओके? लेट्स ट्राई सिंप्लीफाइंग इट। 10/3 प्लस आई माइनस के आई को चलो सिंप्लीफाई करते हैं। We know this one can be done separately rationalization because I in the denominator is not okay. Okay, let's do the rationalization of this part. Is there any confusion so far, Ali and Alina? Is is there any confusion so far?
मैम
Let's continue. I square is -1, 9 plus 1 is 10. 10, 10 gone. This is what we are having. Rationalization is allowed. We are multiplying same thing in numerator and denominator. That means we are not doing any drastic change with the fraction. Okay. 3 minus I we got from here, minus ki is there. If we will try keeping I term together, in just try writing it in form of complex number. Okay, so we will be getting minus, let's take common, 1 plus k. I can we write it like this, where 3 is the real part, 1 plus k, minus 1 plus k is the imaginary part. Can we write it like this? Can we? Ali and Alina, can we?
मैम।
Yeah. Now let's read the question. If k and this all are real numbers, these two circles are nothing but real numbers, then find k. मतलब कि अभी अभी जो हमने कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर वी हैव रिप्रेजेंटेड इट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर, ये रियल नंबर है पूरा। दैट मीन्स यहाँ जो इमेजिनरी पार्ट निकल के आ रहा है उसका वैल्यू जीरो होना ही चाहिए। Imaginary part has to be zero if it is a real number. That means 1 plus k value, of course minus 1 plus k value has to be zero. और यहाँ से हम k का वैल्यू निकाल पाएंगे। आ रहा है समझ में अली और अलीना? Are you getting it? 1 plus
यस
k is 0. K value is -1. Getting it? We have just done the simplification. And at last, we have taken imaginary part is equals to 0. Why? Because it's a real number. Real number में I reflect of course नहीं करेगा. That means B value has to be 0. if you are writing any real number, suppose you are having 32. Just a second. If you are writing any number like 32 or any constant number in form of complex number, that means just एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन हम लोग क्रिएट कर रहे हैं. हमारे बोलने से ये कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर नहीं हो जाएगा. हम लोग जस्ट एक कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर के फॉर्म में रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं. यहाँ तो इमेजिनरी पार्ट है ही नहीं. एक्चुअली ये 32 रियल नंबर है. हाउएवर हम लोग इसको कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर के फॉर्म में रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं. कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर का मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि इमेजिनरी पार्ट होना ही चाहिए. कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर रियल पार्ट और इमेजिनरी पार्ट से मिलके बना हुआ एक नंबर है, जिसमें रियल पार्ट है, इमेजिनरी पार्ट है, और जो पार्ट नहीं है हम लोग उसको जस्ट एक फॉर्म क्रिएट करके 0i, or if just I term is there, 15i is there, then we can write it 0 plus 15i. Now we have written it in the form of complex number. आ रहा है समझ में?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके, तो आज हमने ये डिस्कस किया कि रियल नंबर के अलावा भी नंबर्स एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. Mathematicians found that this square root of -1 can be taken as imaginary number I, which is iota sign. We can represent it with iota sign. Now, whenever we will be getting solution like under root -36, under root -24, we can take the help of this one. Whenever we have to find the exponent of I to the power 4, to the power 20, to the power 100, we will be able to find from this with the help of this value and this value. And simplification, the rationalization concept you have already learned. So here also I told you not to leave I in the denominator because complex number looks like a plus ib. Okay, complex number is just a combination of real number and imaginary number. Okay, so it looks like a plus ib. That's why whenever we will be getting I in the denominator, we will rationalize it and we will try creating I in the numerator. It's fine, but not in the denominator. Okay, and the last question, find the value of k when this completely the circled part is a real number. We tried simplifying it and writing it in the form of complex number a plus ib, and then we are saying here imaginary part has to be 0 because it's completely a real number. Okay, and this much discussion we have done today. Any confusion so far, Ali and Alina?
No, ma'am.
No? No. Yes, Alina, are you saying anything?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, can you show the answer I was writing?
Yeah. From very basic, we are doing the discussion. Okay, in your book, this much of explanation is not there. From the very basic, we are doing the discussion. If you will understand everything properly, then let me tell you, you will be confident in this chapter. Okay, and yeah, I am keeping